Trust is the currency of relationships. When you get into a relationship with a person, whether it's a romantic relationship, a friendship, or a work relationship, a certain amount of trust is given or exchanged. That trust grows or dwindles over time depending on how much you meet the other person's expectations. In this video, I will share with you two things. First, I will talk about the 8 symptoms of a relationship that is getting critically low on trust. And second, I want to share with you 6 things that you can do to build or rebuild trust in your relationships. Trust is so important in relationships that the moment you take it out, the relationship starts to become toxic. And staying in a toxic relationship can drain you mentally and emotionally. So it's always good to know when the trust level in your relationship is getting critically low. So here are 8 symptoms that your relationship is critically low on trust. Number 1, impatience. Are you getting easily frustrated, irritated, and angered over the smallest things? Impatience can be caused by emotional clutter. These are small unresolved issues that pile up over time, and it produces unnecessary emotional and mental stress in our lives. Some of these unresolved issues might be related to your trust being broken again and again, and now it has caused you to be more impatient. Number 2, doubt. Do you feel the need to constantly have to double check or verify what the other person is saying or doing? Do they have to regularly report to you where they are, who they are with, and what they are doing? This usually happens when you can no longer completely trust the other person's words, motives, and actions. Number 3, over-controlling. Do you feel the need to make decisions for the other person? And this is not because they have asked you to, but because you don't trust that they can make the right decisions on their own. Another sign of being too controlling is if you use threats, force, and manipulation to control the other person. Maybe sometimes you justify it by saying that this is for their own good, but the truth is that is just a sign that the trust level in that relationship is getting critically low. Number 4, disrespect. Do you say rude, derogatory, or insulting words to that person? Do you look down on them? And do you feel that their feelings, opinions, and arguments are always invalid? Disrespect is also a sign of low trust level in that relationship. Number 5, no benefit of the doubt. When the person makes a mistake, are you biased to make negative judgments about them right away? Do you assume that their motives are always bad? For example, your spouse forgot to buy you what you requested for when he or she went to the grocery. And without asking or gathering any facts, you assume right away that the reason behind them not buying what you asked for is because they just didn't care or they did it on purpose. If your mind drifts and assumes the negative right away, this could be a sign that you are already having trust issues with that person. Number 6, lack of openness and communication. Do you feel that your relationship is a safe place to open up and be transparent about your thoughts and feelings? Or is there a fear of judgment, of criticism, of being misunderstood or misinterpreted? You see, when there is no openness and communication, that is already a red flag that the trust level is getting really low, and that someone in that relationship doesn't feel that it is a safe place to open up what they feel or what they think. Number 7, lying and any form of deception. Are you living a double life? Are you covering up something, lying about something, or hiding something from that person you're in a relationship with? What's stopping you from being completely honest? It's either you're afraid of the consequences or you don't trust the other person enough to the point that you can be vulnerable, that you can show your true self, or you can come clean about your failures and wrongdoings. Number 8, jealousy. Do you feel that the other person in your relationship is giving their time, attention, their affection, or recognition to someone or something else instead of you? Jealousy can be a sign that you don't trust that your place in that relationship is secure. These 8 symptoms I've mentioned are not a comprehensive list, but they are enough for you to identify if your relationship is getting critically low on trust. If you know of a symptom that you think should be added in this list, please share it with us in the comments below. And while you're at it, if you're new here or you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would appreciate it if you would click that subscribe button, like this video, hit that bell icon, and share this with others who you think would value from this. Let's go back to talking about trust. When you're experiencing these symptoms and you're starting to feel the toxic effects of not having enough trust in your relationships, you have 3 choices on what to do. First, you can cut ties and end the relationship with that person. Second, you can stay in the relationship, do nothing to improve trust, and suffer. Third, stay in the relationship and work on restoring trust. Now, there are certain relationships that you can easily cut off when trust is broken. But there are also relationships in our lives that are just too important to cut ties with. When you're left in a toxic, trustless relationship that you can't cut off, suffering silently, whining and complaining about it won't help. Playing the blame game won't help also. If you're stuck in a relationship like that, the only wise option you have is to start working on rebuilding the trust. Of course, it would be easier if both people involved in that relationship would work on rebuilding the trust. But if the other person is not on board in the process, you can still do significant change on your own. Here are 6 things that you can do to build or rebuild trust in a relationship. Number 1, be honest. Honesty is very much attached and tied up to trust. The moment you lie, you cheat, or you deceive someone, trust just gets thrown out the window right away. Sometimes people lie because they're afraid of the consequences of telling the truth. But believe me, the damaging consequences of a lie will always be greater than any consequence of telling the truth. And another thing about truth is that it will always surface. No matter how hard you try to cover it up, no matter how long you try to keep it hidden, it will always come to light. So it's best to just be completely honest and avoid lying or any form of deceit at all times. Number 2, be sincere. Sincerity is when you mean what you say and you say what you mean. Your words and your actions are in line with your motive and intent. You avoid sarcasm, you have no hidden agendas, and you're not two-faced and you don't backstab others. Number 3, be authentic. Authenticity is being as real as you can be at all times. You're not pretentious, you don't try to be like others, and you have no masks. That also means that at times you have to be open about your flaws and your weaknesses. Sometimes people are afraid to be themselves for fear of rejection. But remember that time always reveals who we really are. So it's best to be as authentic and real as you can be, especially to the people closest to you. Number 4, be relatable. Being relatable is more than just finding commonalities and shared interests. Part of relatability is the ability to connect easily with someone and to make them feel valued and heard. Most relationships that have low trust levels have usually lost their relatability. So if you want to improve trust in your relationships, one of the things that you need to work on is your relatability. Work on connecting well with that person. Make sure that they feel valued and heard. And also work on having shared interests and passions again. Number 5, be more predictable. Being too predictable can sound boring. But predictability is necessary when building trust. When a person is too unpredictable, inconsistent, and erratic, it can lead to a loss of trust in that relationship. Just imagine going to your favorite restaurant and ordering your favorite dish. You would want to be able to predict that your order would taste exactly the same as before. You would actually lose trust in that restaurant if every time you came back, your order tastes different. Predictability means consistency and security in that relationship. So try to be consistent and predictable most of the time. And once in a while, it's okay to throw in some surprises. Number 6, be more capable. Repeated mistakes and failures can cause people to lose trust in our capability. So improving your capability in whatever tasks and responsibilities that you have, especially in that relationship, will greatly improve the trust level. It could be as simple as improving your capability in cooking or other household chores. Or maybe you improve your listening skills. Whatever it is, you want to produce consistent good results. We want the other person to be able to trust us fully when it comes to accomplishing our responsibilities in that relationship. If you intentionally work on these 6 things I've mentioned, you can greatly improve your overall trust level. One thing that you can also do is to take each of these 6 things I've mentioned and ask the person you're in a relationship with how you can improve in these areas. Talking about trust, I'm reminded of something that Jesus said in the Bible. He said, "Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. And whoever is dishonest with very little will also be dishonest with much." These words of Jesus remind us to be trustworthy even in the smallest things in our lives. God has entrusted each of us with relationships. Let's make it our goal to intentionally build and grow trust in these relationships. As we end, why don't you share with us in the comments which of these 6 things on improving trust are you going to intentionally work on in the coming weeks? That's it for us today. Thank you so much for watching till the end. I'll see you on the next video. God bless you.